Hey guys, welcome back to Pilar Orchids. It's mid-April, and yeah, the garden is coming back alive for spring again. It's really nice to see everything starting to grow and develop. So we thought we'd just take a quick walkthrough, show you what's happening now. That it's, we're in zone like around 8B, I think. So for those who may be new to the channel, thank you for our early subscribers and folks checking in. But this is our living room with a south-facing window. And yeah, we get bright light on the sunny days here in Germany. So yeah, part of our thing is we don't use any extra lighting, or we just try to go with what's available, humidity and everything. But it is Saturday, so it's watering day. Start with the side table, as always. On developing seed pod, for those who saw it last time, the Paphtyanum. So it's the ovary is still green and looking good, and yeah, a few new things. Like I don't know, our Parisiais, they're struggling. They didn't like the cold winters, so and the Gigantea starship, our largest Paphiopedilum. We just did the video on that when it was in bloom, but just to show, we've got a developing seed pod. So that was crossed with Tetraspis green, Phalaenopsis tetraspis green. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'm excited for that, as all of our cross attempts. And yeah, some Paphiopedilums. I'm kind of just propping this up because the top leaf had flopped over, so trying to just get that going back upright again. I think that's, what is that? Here's Escurolii alba in semihydro, and kind of an intergeneric Phalaerides cross here. That's one of our newer plants, and yeah, we're trying to give it highlight and get it acclimated. And some new growths on the dendrobium. That's always nice to see because yeah, we tend to lose a lot of growth on this dendrobium. We're still learning dendrobiums as well as the cattleyas, and the other little cattleya cutting finally bloomed. Yeah, you can check out our video on those guys, but they were one plant like over 2.5 years ago, and I chopped them in half, and yeah, bad idea, but thankfully they bloomed for us this year. We're pretty happy about that, and hopefully they keep growing new growths. And the Epidendrum porpax, not blooming. I was hoping it would bloom, but it doesn't show any signs of blooming. And to kind of show you, so we do grow in bright light, but now that the summer is coming on and the light is getting much stronger and temperatures are going up, we had to move a lot of our seedlings further away. So now we've kind of packed that table back there, and we do grow these maxillarias, and I love maxillarias. They're becoming my favorite orchid. These are the Maxillaria variabilis, these yellow flowers. Now, yeah, the flowers are small and they're kind of hidden in there, but there's lots of different types of maxillarias, and some have bigger, more prominent flowers, but they kind of grow this really wild growth habit, and they're easy to divide, and they like full sun, so they provide some shade. And just to kind of show you how we get away with it, like we can grow a row or two of seedlings behind all of our highlight plants. So there's a brassia there, and our other Cattleya hybrids we have growing up front. And then, yeah, up there's kind of a small tray of a bulbophyllum. But so you can see how we get away with growing seedlings in like our highest light available, natural light available. During the day, it's like you can see right now it's 10 in the morning or something. And so it's pretty direct light, and that'll keep going across this table for the next few hours. So they get blasted by light pretty heavy in the summer. And yeah, I mean, we gotta watch out for that to make sure they don't get too much light. But we slowly acclimate them, and they seem to do really good. The seedlings do a lot better in the brightest light possible for them. Okay, so up top, the attempted hybridization of this is Paphiopedilum gertruxianum grown in semihydro, and we crossed that with the Paphiopedilum philippinense alba. So it's still going and looking good and swelling up, which is nice to see. Mani eyes, they came on early and now they're kind of all just like sluggish. I don't know what's up with the mani eyes. They're not performing up to peak, and so they're slowly growing spikes, but just not really like the other plants have kind of really shown signs of coming back to life, and all of the mani eyes haven't. Well, the flavas are doing a bit better, so is like you can see the new spike on this mani eye flava. The flavas have come back a bit stronger than the plain old mani eyes. And then also down here, this is a hybrid zebra. What's it? Super zebra crossed with something, and that plant has always just been a struggle for us. We're trying to. I'm trying not to throw it in the garbage. Yeah, so now you can see here we've packed the table now further away from the window with most of our seedlings. And we just used to get these orchid packs, they're called, from what used to be Rilke Orchideen here in Germany. And now it's been bought up by Equigenera, and it's called Equigenera Europe. But they still sell seedlings in flasks, these little mini flasks. You get like 4 or 5 plants. So we would just buy several varieties of mostly Phalaenopsis hybrids that we thought looked interesting. And we have a couple like species, like I think we got Dauriensis, like 2 flasks of that last year. So that's kind of what we do with our seedlings. But you can see now that spring's come on, like most of them are growing, like nice new leaves starting to come back, and a few of them started growing new leaves like a month ago. But generally, some are, well, these bigger ones, like this guy, and yeah, this was one of them that was that's been out of flask like almost 2 years now. Yeah, so we have like 8 of those that we got a couple flasks in the beginning. It's just like it's a great way to get a bunch of plants for really cheap. Downside is you got to grow them for like a year or two before you get to see what the flowers look like. But yeah, still in bloom is the Phalaenopsis dragonheart. It's a nice one back here. That's a great. It's nice. It has that kind of grocery store orchid thing where the flowers stay good for like several months. So it's amazing. I love that about orchid hybrids. And here we just cut the seed pod off of the little sister. This is Phalaenopsis little sister. We crossed it with Mani, and we just cut that seed pod off today. It was pretty short period, so hopefully we get some good seeds out of that one. And here's another hybrid attempt. This is the reciprocal cross, the Philippinense alba crossed with Gertruxianum. So that seed pod still looks green, and yeah, embryo's hanging on. This flower is also still hanging on. You can see how brown and crusty it is. But yeah, that's how it is. And yeah, the semi-hydroponics with Paphiopedilums is they're all looking nice and yeah, still going along. New root growth out of those, which is great. And finally came into bloom. We'll show more close-ups, but this is the our nice large. Move some of this out of the way. This vanilla. Oh no, it's gonna pop off some buds. Show that, but yeah. So finally bloomed a few and grown a few more buds there. This is Fal paprika. It's a no ID, but it looks like a paprika. So that's what we just call it. Yeah, that's our one of our first Phalaenopsis orchids that kind of got us into the whole thing, along with those orange cattleyas. But thankfully, we've got a lot of new growth coming on the cuttings of vanilla, which is awesome to see. This was one set of cuttings, a much bigger set, and there's like 6, 7, 8, like 10 new growths coming up all over it. So thankfully, that's great. It just kind of, if you cut them, they start growing out of these leaf nodes where it would normally put on a root. It'll grow a new stem. So there's a lot coming off of that. You can see there was 3 of them there. This big one up in here, which was one of the first ones to start. So thankfully, that set of vanilla cuttings has come back alive and is growing. This one is, yeah, not doing so good. It's not totally dead yet, but it's just not doing anything. So you can see comparatively, we took these cuttings at the same time as the other set, and that other set has definitely like stabilized and come back. This group, not so much. So we did treat this one differently, and I think that was kind of it's the mistake we made with it. But I mean, yeah, just some more maxillarias. That's the Maxillaria schunkiana. They're growing nice new pseudobulbs now that spring is coming on. They're really starting to come on and grow strong. So that's the most of the plants around. And then here's, of course, on the tables where we keep our plants in flower. So for us, this is the most exciting part, which is why we keep them on the table. And yeah, right kind of on the edge here, a bunch buds coming on, like 6 nice new buds. This is the Wasner Mucka, the Wasner mosquito. And, it was a happy day here at El Pilar because this was the first hybrid seed pod that we did here in our living room. And we harvested that seed pod, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago and sent them off to the lab. So we're waiting to hear back. We're very excited, hopefully, that we get some good seed from that. And yeah, we'll probably just order 1 flask for us, like hopefully get like 20 plants if possible from our first seed pod. So that's awesome. And yeah, another attempted is self-cross. This is the Phal ambinosa. We just keep this one. I love how like green flowers get when they get pollinated, and so it's really cool how they do. Paphiopedilum colossum is in bud. Another cool thing about Paphiopedilums is just how different their buds look. They all are unique, and they have really cool telltale little signs that show up so you can try to guess what the flower is going to ultimately look like. This purple with white on the colossum is really cool. And the Tetraspis green, this plant is, well, we got a couple of them. The sister plant is back here, which has the reciprocal cross of the Gigantea starship. So that's this seed pod on this Tetraspis green. And yeah, you can see it's looking good, and the flowers turned green and photosynthetic. These are really cool flowers. See if I can grab this one out and turn it around so we can see the flowers a little more closely. But yeah, they're just really nice white, like a cream off-white with green tips on the sepals and petals. Just subtle yellow inside the column at the base of the lip there. Really pretty little delicate flowers, but they last a long time and they've been good bloomers. These we grow in moss, so that's kind of a delicate situation for us there. Yeah, and then just kind of moving around the in bloom table, the Yang Yang supermodel has opened up all of its blooms now, which is great. We love this hybrid. We'll do a video on this one here very shortly. Just look at that like creamsicle like lip. I love that how it transitions from pink to orange in there. It's just so cool. And yeah, I like these mottled flowers with the brown spotting. That's a great hybrid. We love that plant. And yeah, a couple more seed pods. There's some things that we're still watering. I'm still watering this morning, so I have to drain those. They're just here so I don't forget to drain them. And then this guy, the Hennesianum, Paphiopedilum hennesianum, finally bloom. I don't want to show too much of our horrible room. Sorry, I didn't clean. I grabbed the phone and started recording. Yeah, and then the No ID Phalaenopsis, this pink one here, that was the original orchid that the boss got from her mom. And yeah, it like blasted a bunch of blooms in like a month or so ago, a little over a month ago. And then it just kept growing. So thankfully the spike is still growing. Okay, so the phone was full, and so that's a sign that I'm talking too much. It's time to go. I think we've shown you everything that's actually in flower right now. Oh, this last little one, this gold one, it's like a yellow with gold. This is a new one to us as well, and it's a first bloom, Macoltii crossed with Javanica alba. So that's a first bloomer. Hopefully they'll improve and stand upright more in the future. But thanks for checking in, guys. Hope your spring is going well, and we will check in with you soon with some up close look at some of these hybrids and yeah, as things come into bloom. Have a good one. See you guys soon.